to have your pre-mixed cutting material dampened, and then I put it in my pot just about to the top, and make sure all of your cuttings are labeled. I've done that pre-starting so I can move a little faster. I'm going to use a pencil to make my hole and then insert my cutting with no more than 2 leaves above the ground. Make my indentation. Make my cutting. Best if this is a soft cutting. I'm going to cut off these extra leaves. Then I'm going to have a node right here that's going to go below the ground level. Press it in so it sits up nice and straight. There's your cutting. This one's not going to have very much inner node, so I'm just going to trim it back a little bit and trim these last 2 leaves a little bit. Make the hole, put it in below the last node. That's just way too long, so we want to cut that back. Cut off the last big leaves. And then we have a nice inner node. Okay, that's the last of the cuttings. I will not add any water to this because the soil is already damp. I'm going to put a clear plastic lid on top. They need to be in light, but not in sunlight, because that's going to dry them out too soon. If you have a little bottom heat, that wouldn't hurt, but they're basically going to sit here for the next couple of weeks. It will need to have a little bit of draft once or twice a week just to get rid of that extra moisture. I have extra tall stakes, so I've got a little extra space at the bottom, and mine will breathe. But you want to keep the moisture in this general vicinity without adding a lot of extra water to it. So the soil is moist. They don't need a lot of extra moisture. They just need light and a little bit of heat if you can give it to them, but no direct sunlight. Now you don't need to add a lot of water once you get them in their container. The soil was damp to start with, and they don't need a lot of extra water because they don't have any roots to take it up with. If the soil starts to get a little damp, a little dry on the top, I use a spray bottle, and I just spray them. That gives them a little extra moisture, which is good, dampens the top of the soil, and that will keep them plenty damp. When they get enough root underneath them, then you can give them some water on the bottom that they can take out. But at this point, they don't need to be too wet. Also, to completely pull a stop to the damping off, I put half an aspirin in a gallon of water, and that's what I use as my spray-on solution. And they should be just happy in this nice little enclosed space. And if you take the lid off once a day for an hour or so, just to give them a little air, that's all they need.